What is something you deeply desire and want to achieve, but think it's impossible? I grew up in an Asian household. My parents are hard-working market gardeners who came from poorer backgrounds in China and would want nothing more than to see their kids grow up to get stable jobs and live a comfortable life. Although I'm pretty sure that their definition of a stable job and a comfortable life means to be a dentist, a lawyer, or a doctor. And meanwhile, I'll be struggling with my NCEA level 1. Wasn't a very good start. They were shocked when I told them I wanted to pursue a career as an artist. They were initially concerned for me for good reasons to which I understand, because for them, in their background, to be an artist means to starve. But I was determined to show them that I could succeed in this path that I chose, mainly so they wouldn't worry too much. So I'll be captivated by many amazing artists who created these massive communities online through their social media. It inspired me. I wanted to do the same, but I didn't know how to start, and I didn't know where to start. Although thinking it might have been impossible, I wanted to try anyways. The first most obvious step was to go to art school. I went into my visual imaging degree with minimal experience in drawing and design, because I didn't actually start drawing until I was 16 or 17. And I found myself to be disadvantaged by a lot of my classmates who all shared similar backgrounds of drawing since they were kids. I started questioning myself. I started fearing. Was this simply a spontaneous decision? Was this the right path for me? I had two options: to accept the fact that I was going to be at the bottom, or to get out of my comfort zone, put in the extra hours to catch up and to get better. While others would do around 3 hours of study, I'll double that or more. I'd go into the classrooms and early in the mornings, attend my classes, then I'd stay until 11 p.m. to work on my assignments until the security guards would kick me out. I'd make sure to document every single bit of process behind my assignments, and I'd constantly compare my artworks with industry professionals so I could find ways to improve and to get inspired. From here, I started catching up to level with my classmates, which reassured me that I was on the right track. From initially getting poor grades in my first year, my grades would go from B's to A's. Then I finished my second year and my third year with top of the class. My parents were proud of my achievements, and they were more reassured with my career choice. After graduating, I went into local government to work as an in-house graphic designer for 5 years, and also, while at the same time, still working on my personal artworks, as well as creating freelance projects for clients on the side. It was around the 3-year mark that I realized I wanted more. I wanted to be my own artist. I wanted to create work for myself and be unbounded by my own creativity as an artist. Through researching and more learning, I realized that no matter what it was, I needed to upskill. I knew that if my day remained the same, nothing was going to change. So every day after work, I'd basically go home and I'll take on more client work, and I'd spend even more time working on my personal artworks all the way through till 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. It was hard hours, but I was willing to go through this no matter how uncomfortable or tiring it was, as I genuinely loved and believed in what I was doing. Growth comes in all forms for everyone, but all those forms share something in common. It revolves around getting out of your comfort zone, because how do you expect to grow if you don't come out of your comfort zone? And where's the opportunity to come out of your comfort zone if you don't put yourself in new uncomfortable situations? It all starts with a small step. If you find yourself to be unsatisfied with where you're at, perhaps it's a sign to figure out your why. With a why, you'll find reasons to learn, which can then lead to actions and then your goals. In most cases, these actions come in the form of something new, something different from your current everyday norm. I can tell you it's a journey filled with discomfort, but once you start, you put yourself in a journey for growth. And there's nothing more satisfying than going to bed at night knowing that you tried something new today. It's a feeling of achievement. When times get difficult, we go back and remind ourselves of our why, so we don't forget the very reason why we started on this journey. Fast forward a year, I started gaining more recognition across my social media platforms and also from more clients. I went from 5,000 Instagram followers to over 200,000 within a year and a half. Being a small town boy from Laverna was quite surreal that with a bit of grit and perseverance, I could share my artworks with a global audience. I went from small commissions to working with clients such as 21 Draw, Sony Music, and more recently, Adobe and Disney Pixar. I'd also created my own Patreon page where I'd create tutorials and resources for my subscribers. Now through this, I was able to generate more work for myself. It started to become overwhelming, and it became difficult to manage alongside my full-time job. The thought then hit me. Maybe it's time to move on and focus on my business full-time. The thought was both unsettling and exciting. So leading up to the last few months of my full-time job, I started to seriously gear myself up to become a self-sustaining artist. From here, it was about creating a process, to create content, to engage more with the audience, to market consistently, and to be self-sustaining. Obviously, I was a little scared at first, as there's always a sense of uncertainty, not only from being an artist, but also as an entrepreneur. I was also torn between choosing my second family, aka my workmates, or to chase my dreams. And I feared that I might be disappointing my parents through this decision, because we all know how difficult it can be to get a full-time job as a graphic artist. But none of these fears were a match for my desire to share my creative voice with the world. It's been about 4 months since I've been able to fully focus on my dreams. I work in my own schedule in an environment where I can truly focus on my goals, and more importantly, spend more time with the one that I love. Time still remains my worst enemy. New goals come in, new tasks follow. But just how it should be is there's no growth without this, right? What I initially thought was impossible was nothing more than taking that first step out of my comfort zone. You turn what seems impossible into a series of goals, and these goals create the steps for you to take. And these steps being a collective of activities that you do on the day-to-day to get you there. So if you also have a deep desire to achieve your impossible, it will be uncomfortable. You will have to make sacrifices. You will have to make changes in order to see changes. Know what it is that you love doing most, and the rest will follow. Cheers, guys.